Hi everyone, so in this video we will be discussing what stress is. Before we dive deeper into the topic, let's just really understand why do we need to know this. I know stress itself gets a bad rap. Every time somebody talks about stress, it's always in a negative way. But in truth, the stress system itself is not designed to be a negative thing, but to help you survive your external and internal environment by releasing a hormone called adrenaline to help you gear up for action to combat whatever the threat is that you are seeing inside your body as well as outside in your environment. So now that we understand the importance of stress, this can also help us understand when we can raise our stress levels to get things done and when can we put a break so that our bodies can rest and when is stress bad for us. So this knowledge does empower us and it gives us an idea of how to handle and manage our stress at different times in our lives. So now that we understand why it's important, let's get into this topic. So what is stress? Stress is a generic system. It helps our bodies get ready to respond to a perceived threat in the environment. And it does this by activating key systems that help us gear up for movement or action. Now, these key systems that it activates, which the body prioritizes to help us deal with the threat in the environment, are increasing our heart rate, our respiration, reopening those airways, and also sending the blood flow to our muscles because we're getting ready for some action. Now, while the body does that, it also shuts down other systems that it does not deem as important in the moment. And those systems are your digestive system, the blood flow to your skin, to your intestines, and also your saliva glands. And this is why you feel like you have a dry mouth when you're really, really stressed and you're continuously just swallowing because of that dryness you're feeling in your throat. Right, now that we understand that how the body works when it perceives that there is threat in the environment and it gets itself ready for action. Now, what systems within that stress response system are responsible for this? So you have the sympathetic nervous system, which is your system that is activated when you perceive a threat in your environment and you're stressing. So that's a system that is activated and does all of that prioritizing and gets your body ready for action. Now, it's all good in the moment when you're ready for action, but what happens afterwards? That's right. There is a twin system that comes into play once the threat has been eliminated. And that is your parasympathetic nervous system, which brings everything back to balance. So this is a system that undoes everything that the sympathetic nervous system did to help you get ready to deal with the threat. So this system is all about your body's rest and bringing up digestion. So the system, what it does is lowers your heart rate, brings your breathing back to normal, and your body is now at rest and calm since there is no threat in the environment. So these systems work hand in hand, and they help you bring up stress when it's needed, and they lower it when there is no threat in the environment. Sounds cool, isn't it? But you must remember, since this is a generic system, it is not biased, nor can it tell whether the threat that you're experiencing is an emotional threat or it's actually a physical threat. So even when you're thinking about something, you're stressing about money or stressing about your kids, the system will always kick in and increase your heart rate, send blood flow to your muscles, shut down your saliva glands, the blood flow to your intestines and your skin. So we'll continuously always work in the same way because it cannot tell time, nor can it understand that you're just thinking of a stressful situation, but it's not really happening in real time. And that's the downside to the system. It's meant to protect you, and it does that as soon as you believe that you are threatened, and that is through feeling stressed. So that is the downside to the system. And the reason why is because of how your brain has been set up. There's something called the brainstem. Now, the brainstem, which is the lower level of your brain, does not have any thinking systems. All it does is simply regulate your temperature, your heart rate, and all the things around just bodily functions. And so when you feel stress, this is the first level that receives that stress response and activates and gets your body ready to gear up for action. So a good example for this is when you're walking around a mall and suddenly you hear something that sounds like a gunshot and you hear people screaming and running. You don't think about it. You just start running in a certain direction and you haven't even really fully, taken in what is going on, who's shooting, what is happening in the situation, is it a robbery, and all that stuff. Because when it comes to a stress response, you don't need all of that. You just need to get your body up and ready to just run and do what needs to be done for your survival. It's only after a while do the high level functions of your brain, which is your thinking center, where you can start really just dissecting why is this happening? Why did I run? And get all that information together in a logical and rational way. But that's not how the stress response works. It only deals with just getting you to safety, because protecting you is its priority. And that is what stress is, protecting you.